Sometimes we get confused in class and we don't know to ask a question, or we miss class, or we're having to stay home for quarantine or something like that. And that's where videos like this come in helpful. For this assignment, which is Thursday, we're going to talk about what happened in the Civil War, but it's going to be your job to figure that out on your own. The reason why is because I want you to understand, how did people experience the war? And you're doing that in your journal, but your journal is a very specific perspective, and you want to get the big picture. So the other thing to notice on this page is that there is a form to fill in after you've read the directions. Here, it's going to talk about what I am grading. So I'm looking at your timeline is going to be evidence that you paid attention and took notes. And then I'm also looking for your skill grade, right? What is the depth of your research? So what I'm looking for is this, right? Sources have different depths to them. Your job is to fill in the timeline sheet, but it's also your job to learn and be curious. You do not have to look at all of these sources. You have 50 minutes of class time, and I'm expecting you to look at 3 sources and take notes on 2 to show me proficiency. So the sources you have to choose from are on this left-hand side, and they're based on different levels of how complex they're going to be. On the right, I'm telling you what needs to go on this right side column. This is where you just tell me, overall, what did you learn from the source? And did you evaluate it, right? So who made it? What's their perspective? Why did they make it? And that's going to influence what gets included, right? That's called sourcing. And just 1 or 2 sentences about how it helped you. So the options are going to go down the left side. It includes a timeline, which is going to get right to the point really quick. Because if you remember what I told you, it says right here, dates and information should go in your timeline. Well, where is that timeline? That's at the end of the document. So I've given you specific dates, and you're looking for information about them. You could also watch a brain pop. At the next kind of intermediate level, there's a short documentary. The second one's a little bit longer documentary. And then really kind of the best, most in-depth source that I have for you is a textbook. It's called Digital History, and that's going to take you to all kinds of things that you can look at. You can look at this overview of the war. You also may want to look at events, because this is timeline based, so it's based on events that happened. So that's why this is going to be a really interesting source if you can dig in and if you feel like you're at that proficient level. So look at the timeline, the place where you don't need to put the dates. I have them. You need to put the actual information about what happened. If I gave you the name of something, you should still add in a little bit about, like, what is the Emancipation Proclamation. I would say don't worry about this last column. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to use that this year. So really your evidence goes in the middle, and at the bottom is just what I am looking for in case you're a person who likes to look at the rubric. So before you begin, I'm asking you on Thursday to submit this form. So this is the I understand instructions form. So I read the instructions. Yes, I understand I have a choice, and that the entire note section doesn't have to be done. Do you think you're at the basic, intermediate, or proficient level? Do you understand that what it means that you should look at 2 sources, but you don't, or look at 3, but only take notes on 2? This asks you, what are you going to do first? I'm checking in on how's your learning attitude, giving you some advice on how to preview the timeline, and then what is the sort of stuff you should be doing when you are taking notes, because we don't want to take too many notes. We just want to take enough that shows that we understand the basic idea. And then there's a check-in at the end as well. So that is how to do this assignment, which is called What Happened in the Civil War. All right. So a final thing I want to think about, we're going to check in using this visual a little bit this semester. And so if you find yourself confused or you're completely off task, I can help you if you're here, if you ask me a question. I can't help you if you've turned off your computer, or if you're not paying attention to the meet. And we definitely want to strive to be here in the understand, and questions is going to be the key. All right, be sure to let me know if there's anything that is unclear.